All right, welcome guys. Thanks for joining me. We are going to do a little bit of a full body mobility session today, and particularly since you mentioned your hips, we're going to focus on those. If you guys come in the future, I'm going to try to tailor it to whoever shows up and try to make sure that it's useful for you. So the first thing we want to do is always just get a little bit of blood flowing, especially if we've been sitting for a few hours, everything kind of gets stiff. So real simple on the spot, we're just going to march. And because we're at home, we don't have to feel weird about looking silly. Unless, I don't know, do you guys have anybody at home that might walk out? I know Diego might be there.
Nope.
He's in a meeting.
Perfect. I might just hear
Also,
him shout.
yeah, exactly, yelling in the background, and he's used to be doing weird stuff, so this
Okay,
won't
now let's get
surprise
the
him.
arms above the head, arms back to the ears. And I want you to just turn your body a little bit towards the leg that's coming up. A little bit of rotation is going to feel real nice in the spine. And just starting to connect with your breath now. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, ideally. All right, very good. Figure it out a little bit. Let's wiggle a bit. We're going to get our hips going first. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm just going to show you before you guys jump in. We're going to step our feet out really, really wide, turn our toes out a little bit. We're going to sit our hips back as if we're trying to touch the wall with our butt. And then we're going to reach our hands out in front of us like this. And we're going to hold that for 30 seconds. So think of like a sumo wrestler is the stance, sumo stance. Really sit your butt back. I want you to find weight in your toes. So lean forward a little bit. And when you feel like you're going to fall, then I want you to push your heels down. And at that point, you should feel your hamstrings really waking up. And then having the hands out just to balance us. As I'm holding, I'm starting to think of lifting my tailbone up to the ceiling. Deep, deep breaths into the stretch. If it's too intense, just stay a little bit taller. But still holding here, really starting to wake up the hamstrings and the glutes. Rolling onto the outer side of the feet. Do you guys feel that okay?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Feel it on the hamstring.
Beautiful. All right, in about 10 seconds, we're going to start to make that into a full stand up where we're squeezing our butt at the top. So holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, stand all the way up. Just let your hands fall to your side. Squeeze your butt at the top. And then sit as far back as you can. Find the end of your stretch there. And then stand up tall with your butt coming through. We'll go 8 more of those. Breathing into the stretch. Exhaling out. Connect with your breath. Really good, ladies. Good stuff. Try to lean forward a little bit more. Think of like tea kettle, bending over to pick something up. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Really good.
Opposite, I think.
That's okay. Either way, all movement's good movement. End of the day, you're gonna be feeling better after this. Okay. So if you guys have a pillow or something handy, or like a yoga mat you can put your knee down onto, you don't need it, but it feels a little bit nicer. We're just gonna put one leg down. So the way we're gonna do this one, we're gonna do a little bit of rotation now through our spine. So I'm gonna put my knee down. I'm gonna put my hands behind my head, call it like a prisoner position, like you're under arrest. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna turn our chest over our front leg. So follow along here. We're gonna turn, take a big breath in here. When I run out of room, big breath out. Try to go a little bit further towards the leg that's in front of you, Steph. So leaning over that front leg. There you go. Good.
This way?
Now from here, yep. I'm gonna lift the far elbow. So the elbow that's closest to my front knee, I'm gonna lift that to the ceiling. Leaning backwards now over my back hip. And then I'm going to open up my collarbone and my heart to the ceiling. So leaning straight back now. And then continuing around to the other side. So facing away from the front knee. Turning. Drop the right elbow in this case down to the hip that's closest to it. And then you're going to crunch coming around to the front. Just like you're bowing forward or bending forward. Beautiful. Come back up to center. So in real time, I'm just going to show you what it looked like in the whole thing. It's basically a really big circle that we're drawing. with our rib cage. Okay, so let's do that once more on this side. Start by turning over your front leg. When you run out of room, take a breath. Tuck that elbow down to your hip. Leaning all the way back, open up as big as you can, puff the chest out. Open up the arms to the other side. Tuck the elbow down to the hip. And crunch forward until you come back to center. Good, let's switch knees, other side. And that one, especially if you're sitting all day, I would recommend starting with the spine. That's where all our movement comes from. And it's also where our breath is really based out of. And if we don't have good breathing, that's usually when we get that like stress in our neck and our shoulders. So connecting with your breath down here in your diaphragm again, especially during moves like this, is really how you free up a lot of that tension that you carry with you. The hands behind the head. Start by tucking the hips underneath, like really drive the hip forward like this. Big breath in. Turn over that front leg. Exhale. Tuck that elbow down. Now opening up to the ceiling. Big breath in. Coming all the way around now. And you drop that elbow closer to your foot or your knee on the backside. And then curl around, gently coming to the front and sitting back up. Once more at your own pace. Try to go slow. Really own every inch of this. And just breathe through any tension you're feeling. Take a pause. Exhale. Go a little bit further. Really good. How's that feel?
Good.
Okay.
Felt some
Kinda
cracks in my
comfortable.
back.
Yeah, that's pretty common. We get rid of the pillow now. We're going to go ahead and set up in a push-up position. So I'll set up high plank. I'm going to step my left foot out to my left hand, like so. So I don't know if you're familiar with like a Spider-Man position, kind of like a runner's lunge position. Good. So we're setting up like that, and we're just going to go ahead and drop or lift our left arm, the side that's closest to our front foot. Open it up nice and big, and we're going to take 3 breaths here. So every breath, I'm going to try to open my rib cage just a little bit further to the ceiling. Not forcing anything, just gently opening up our rib cage. Really good. Okay, and we're going to come back down, set our hands on either side of our foot. So walk your foot into the middle, put your hands on either side of your foot. And you can maybe bring your feet a little bit closer if this is hard, but we're going to lift our hips and try to touch our chin down to our shin from the side, essentially just straightening our legs. And you're going to get a stretch to that front hamstring here. Yep. If this is too intense, just bend your knee a little bit more. And then keeping that knee bend, lift your tailbone up to the ceiling. And you can use your hands here to push up a little bit. And again, same thing, 3 breaths. Every out breath, try to get a little bit further. Good. And then we're going to come back down and we're going to do once more through each side. So step your foot out a little wider. Get really long with that back leg. Stack the arms on top of each other and get really, really tall. Good. Try to move through your ribs there, Steph. Less of the arm,
Yeah.
more the ribs.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it, Nina. Good. And then back down. Walk your foot in. Start with a big breath in here. And then as you raise your hips, exhale, softening in the knees. Thinking of pushing your front heel down. Light on the back foot. Maybe walk your back foot in a little bit there, Steph. That'll help you get into your front leg a bit more. So think of sliding your...
It's already tight. My hamstrings were so tight. It's brutal.
Nina, did you raise a hand? Or you have a question?
No.
Okay.
It identified my raised hand while I was doing a movement.
Okay, guys. We can switch sides. We'll go ahead and set up plank again. Step that right foot out to right hand. And opening out nice and big. 3 breaths. Oftentimes we rush through stretches and really it takes a lot of time to make a difference. And your breath is the key to that. So just familiarizing yourself with the position and breathing into it is how you unlock it. Good. Stepping the hand over top of your foot. Gently guiding the hips up to the ceiling. The analogy I really like from yoga is think of scissoring your legs together here. So your back leg is twisting in, your front leg is also twisting in. They're both collapsing towards each other. And you should feel a little bit more pinch in that front hip, back of the hip crease. Perfect. And then back to Spider-Man, so stepping out. Nice and wide, stack the arms. And then bringing that foot in. The last one here. Good, straightening that leg out, so walk. We're just doing the hip raise now, Steph, so bring your hips up. Yeah, it's okay.
This really is a lot like yoga.
It is.
Some parts.
I've not done yoga in a minute.
Definitely inspired lately being at Y Yoga quite a bit.
Do you go every Sunday?
Yes, actually, Kate and I are starting to go every Sunday, if not every Monday.
Nice. I try to go on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, we'll have to coordinate with you then.
I know.
All right, so we're going to finish off. Now we're put it together. So usually you start with ground-based stuff. It's a little easier to relax and get into things. Now we're going to stand up into a crescent lunge, which you would have seen in yoga. But we're going to turn it into a little bit of dynamic, like Steph has done, so that it sticks. Okay, you want to add a bit of resistance in order for something to stick long-term. So we're going to set up. Feet are going to be parallel, shoulder width apart. We're going to get really long. So I'm just going to show you from the side. I want you to really stretch out that back leg as much as you can. And then we're going to drop into that front leg, knee going way over the toe. Okay. And then once we're here, thumbs are going to come up. We're going to puff our chest out, collarbone high to the sky. And we're just going to hold here for about 20 seconds. So again, adding a bit of resistance, fighting gravity a bit. Great way to wake up the muscles. Every breath out, try to see you get a little bit deeper into that front hip and that front knee. Just letting the knee go over the toe. 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to stand all the way back up. Keep your feet where they are. And we're going to do the opposite. So kind of like what we were doing in that sprinter's pose. I'm going to load my front leg predominantly. Chest and back are going to stay flat. And I'm just sliding my left hip to the back of the room. And I'm breathing here. Every breath out, try to soften your front leg, sit into the hip a little bit more. One more breath. And going forward again, now we're going to turn it into reps. So I'm going to go all the way down and then right back up, pushing my hips back, reaching for the back of the room with my arms. I'll come a little bit closer, you can see. So getting really, really big here. And then dropping, folding at the hip, lifting the tailbone, and then going forward again. Yep. And if you want to add a little bit of a flexion here to the side of this, feels really nice to the hip flexor stuff. So if you add that bit of reach on the side that's back, that should help. That left arm in this case, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can feel it now.
Good, and then coming back, like you're gonna bow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I thought this was stretching.
I have to say stretching so people come. Inherently though, I feel like mobility is so much more effective than just stretching, like actually moving and stuff. Like that's what makes it work.
Are we let's try the other legs?
Yeah. This is our last one here. Sorry, we're over time. I apologize. I'll have to shorten it up next time. All right, so 20-second hold, coming down. Try to really get into that front foot. starting to look up. If it's too much with the arms, you can always put your hands on your head. Do the same thing. And then again, if you really want to add that stretch, just taking, in this case, the wrist of the side that's back and extending off to the side, flexing rather. Okay, and then sitting all the way back. Get your balance. Drive your front heel down. Pivot the hips to the back of the room. And breathe. Good. One more breath. And then we're going to go 6 reps of each. So coming all the way down, flexing, and then sitting all the way back, lifting the tailbone up to the sky. Big breath out, and right back down. That's it. Good. Yes. Big breath there. Nice there. And then softening here. Relax as you go forward. Try, if you need to, spread your feet out a little bit more. That'll help.
Yeah.
Wider base.
Yeah.
Keep going there, Nina. Once you've done 6 of each. Really good. Kate's killing in the background here too. She even had breakfast made for me too. This is gonna be a good
Oh,
morning.
nice.
Service.
All right. How we feeling?
Good. Sweating. Good. Stretched out.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of our intent.
During those last ones, your back heel is always off the ground, right?
When you're tipping, I was gonna say when you're tipping forward, it's okay to put it down. Like here, you could put it down just for a little bit extra
But
balance.
then you kind of have to walk your legs in.
Yeah, exactly. I think
So I was
majority
kind
of
of
the
watching
time.
you and you like weren't moving your legs and I'm like, there's no way I can do that. Like keep my stance really wide and both my heels down. There's that ain't a thing.
Good feedback.
Okay.
Well, hopefully you feel
I mean,
better.
that's just me. You could probably do it.
But that's right. That's kind of what it is like putting ourselves in positions we're not too familiar with or we don't get into often. That's kind of this whole theme is get into spots that are the exact opposite of what we're doing all day. So
Yeah.
if you ever have 5-10 minutes, like just pick your arms and put them the exact opposite way. And with your hips, it's the same thing, like getting them out to the side. Just like 20 hip circles feels amazing. If you have 0 time or you're working, like I'll stand at my desk and do that. Those sumo squats, those feel really good on the lower back if you've been sitting for a while. So
Awesome.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nate.
Loved it too. Man, I need to get back into yoga. That's what this is showing me. Holy cow.
Any like feedback for me, questions or anything like you'd like to see, I guess, if you were to come back? Maybe text me after if not.
This is great. I just keep doing it.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I also thought it was great when you were pointing out when I was doing something wrong because I'm a novice at yoga and I'm like, I think I'm doing, and then I hear you go, Steph, more of this. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I think that was awesome.
Feedback's good. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Nice. You're gonna do this every Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll repost you on LinkedIn. Hopefully some more people will join. This is great.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Steph, it was great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good Wednesday.
Good seeing you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.